The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Emperor Zarthok of the Vexari Empire made his announcement. His 4 eyes gleamed with barely concealed amusement as he addressed the human delegation. "In the spirit of our new alliance," the towering reptilian sovereign declared, his translator Crystal rendering his hissing speech into standard, "I offer my daughter, Princess Velana, in matrimony to your colony leader." The human diplomats exchanged uncertain glances. Marriage alliances were ancient traditions among the Vexari, but this seemed unexpected given the tensions that had existed between their species for decades. Leo, the young administrator of the human colony on Kepler 442b, stood frozen as the Emperor's daughter entered the chamber. Princess Velana was massive by Vexari standards, her scales dull and thick, her movements slow and deliberate. The snickering from the Vexari courtiers was barely suppressed. Leo had learned enough about their culture to understand. This was an insult, a cruel joke at humanity's expense. "She is generous in form," one courtier whispered loudly enough to be heard. "A perfect match for the soft humans." Emperor Zarthok's smirk was unmistakable. He expected Leo to refuse, to create a diplomatic incident that would justify breaking the fragile peace treaty. It was a trap wrapped in tradition, but Leo surprised everyone. He stepped forward and bowed deeply. "The honor is ours, Your Majesty. Princess Velana is most welcome in our colony." The Emperor's expression flickered with confusion, then settled into cruel satisfaction. "Excellent. May your union be memorable." The first months were difficult. Velana moved to the human colony with a small retinue, and the whispers followed her across the stars. She was quiet, withdrawn, her movements careful as if she expected mockery at every turn. The Vexari servants treated her with thinly veiled contempt, and even some humans couldn't hide their discomfort. But Leo noticed something others missed. Late at night, when she thought no one was watching, Velana would visit the colony's botanical gardens. She would stand among the earth plants, tomatoes, wheat, flowers, and her clawed hands would move with surprising delicacy as she tended them. One evening, Leo found her there, examining a struggling rosebush. "You have a gift," he said softly. Velana's head whipped around, her scales flushing dark with embarrassment. "I apologize for trespassing." "You're not trespassing. This is your home now." Leo moved closer, studying the plants she'd been working on. They looked healthier, more vibrant than they had in weeks. "How did you do this?" For the first time, Velana's voice held something other than resignation. "My people call me obese because I carry extra mass, but that mass comes from a genetic variation. I metabolize nutrients differently. I can sense chemical compositions, adjust soil conditions with secretions from my scales. My father called it useless. A waste of resources." Leo's mind raced. The colony had been struggling with food production in Kepler 442b's alien soil. Earth crops grew poorly, and supplemental shipments from home were expensive. Would you be willing to help us?" Within 6 months, the transformation was remarkable. Under Velana's guidance, the colony's agricultural output tripled. She didn't just tend plants, she revolutionized them. Her unique biology allowed her to identify optimal growing conditions with impossible precision. She bred new hybrid strains that thrived in the local environment. But more than that, she taught the colonists. Ava, a young botanist who had been ready to give up and return to Earth, became Velana's closest student and friend. "You see," Velana explained one day, her claws gently separating root systems, "my people value speed, aggression, efficiency in combat. But survival isn't just about fighting. It's about adaptation, nurturing, patience." Ava nodded, making careful notes. "Your father is a fool." Velana's laugh was a strange chittering sound, but genuine. "Perhaps. Or perhaps he simply cannot see value in what he doesn't understand." The colony flourished. Word spread through human space about Kepler 442b's success, and about the Vexari princess who had made it possible. Colonists from other worlds requested her consultation. She developed educational programs, wrote extensively about xenobotany and cross-species agriculture. Leo watched her blossom alongside the gardens. The quiet, ashamed princess became confident, purposeful. Her movements, once hesitant, now carried authority. The Vexari servants who had mocked her grew silent, then respectful. 2 years after the marriage alliance, Emperor Zarthok requested a state visit to Kepler 442b. He arrived with great fanfare, expecting to find his daughter humiliated, the human colony struggling, and the alliance in shambles. Instead, he found a thriving settlement, the most successful human colony in the sector. Gardens stretched across the landscape in geometric precision. The air smelled of growing things, and at the center of it all stood Velana, consulting with a group of scientists, her scales now gleaming with proper nutrition and purpose. "Father," she greeted him, her voice level and dignified. The Emperor stared, his 4 eyes wide with disbelief. "What is this?" Leo stepped forward, his hand finding Velana's, a gesture that had become natural over time. "This is what happens when you see value in what others discard. Your daughter has saved our colony and revolutionized human agricultural science. She's a hero here." The Emperor's expression cycled through shock, confusion, and finally something that might have been respect. "I sent you as a joke," he admitted quietly to Velana. "I thought the humans would reject you and I could use it to restart the war." Velana's laugh was warm now, full of genuine amusement. "I know, Father. But it turns out humans appreciate gifts, even ones given in jest. They saw what you couldn't. That different doesn't mean lesser." As the Emperor toured the thriving colony, seeing his daughter treated with admiration and respect, something shifted in him. The cruel jest had indeed played out, but the joke was on him. Velana had found her purpose not despite being sent away, but because of it. And in doing so, she had proven that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in what a culture values, but in what it foolishly discards. Fate, it seemed, had the last laugh after all.